He almost burned down, but I'll tell you, if the Browns win, I mean, we might need a new city. So I figured out when I came here during the season how serious people here are about football. When I walked off the bus, it was kind of fine. I was on the field for maybe 10 seconds. I'm getting ripped by a little kid, a parent, a student, whoever, and they just ripped me the whole warm-up. And I'm like, okay, so these people are serious about some ball, and I just love that. I think that's important for the guys. I mean, having a community behind you is huge, and I've been a part of those situations, and it gives you a little bit more motivation to be great. So that was attractive to me.
What's your early read on the room you're inheriting? You have some veteran guys, obviously a bunch of new guys coming in, and some developing talented guys.
Absolutely. I think the room, I tell them this, and they, given a year last year, they don't always receptive to things, but I told them, I'm like, hey, I got to witness firsthand the level of talent and potential in this room. They got after us. And so I think just early on, the ability to work hard and being dedicated to the craft, I can see it a little bit early. We're going to continue to gather our focus, a united focus within the room, so that we're now not only just working as an individual would be great, but we're actually working as a unit. I'm kind of getting that camaraderie together. It's going to be huge, but I'm excited. I think the guys are really talented. So my job is to make sure I don't mess it up.
So Troy Calhoun always plays coy about the Wyoming rivalry. Does he really hate Wyoming?
No, he has never said that out loud to me either, so I wouldn't know. Coach Calhoun's probably one of the best people in the world, so even if he did, he's not going to tell you anything. He's a good guy, so no.
What were your thoughts on, you guys came in and played a Wyoming team last year that hadn't won a game yet. What were your thoughts on walking off the field that night what were your thoughts about the Cowboys after that?
Physical. It's a real physical unit when they wanted to be. Like I said, they manhandled us a lot of times, and I thought we had some pretty talented D linemen last season, and they got after us. And so even offensively, flip it over, it took a while for us to get it going. A lot of it was because of what was happening up front and those guys in the back of the room. So again, like from my perspective, being an outsider, it was like, okay, there's something here, because we watched it on tape. We were like, all right, we should be able to get it going, roll it. But nah, they punched us right in the mouth, like out the gate. And so that was, for me, that was huge. Coming into it, it was like, hey, I saw it firsthand that there's some fight in this unit, just trying to find a way to make sure it's consistent.
Sure, getting to the quarterback's kind of up here on the priority list, but what are some goals for you just kind of looking ahead for this unit?
Make it bigger than just themselves. You represent a lot of things when you play this game, and one of the things that they got to understand is they represent the football program in this city. So we got to make the city proud by the way that we play. I think you can have a lot of goals, whether it's TFL, sacks, tackles, whatever it is, be all conference, go to the NFL. You can have whatever goals you want to, but it's the way that you play the game that's going to guide all that. So the big focus for us in the defensive tackle room won't be to be the leader in sacks or a leader in anything. We're going to be the leaders in nastiness and violence. So that's where it's going to start.
What are your thoughts on DeJuan Martin? I assume he's a guy who's here because of you?
He like Coach Hendricks, so he's going to get a chance to work with him. But no, I love DeJuan, man. I got to coach him for 2 years, and I watched him grow up a lot, and he's a real special just person. And then you bring in that Youngstown tough kid, I think that's really nice to have a type of guy like that in the program. And then, yeah, obviously the familiarity with me was pretty huge, but I think he did a really good job of being open with Coach Hendricks, and then, obviously Coach Hendricks does a great job, has done a great job. I've gone against him 3 times in my career before. Now we're actually really 4. And now we're going to work together, which is fun. And I think he did a really good job of building a relationship, and that's ultimately, I think, what sold it for him.
Wyoming obviously dealt with a ton of injuries last year, especially on the defensive line. Going into the spring, how important is creating some depth for those rotations just going into the spring?
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing I drove home to those guys is, good, bad, or otherwise, from last year, I had no part in it. So I can't take any stake or any claim to it. They also have some level of a blank slate because, again, I didn't coach them. And so by gathering a level of, kind of inducing a level of competition is going to be more important. And I think through competition we'll kind of start to reveal some of the depth deals that we want to do, because we want to be able to be deep in that room, and whether an injury happens or it doesn't, we have guys ready to go every time. So ultimately, really inducing the competition is going to be huge. And I think that depth's going to happen shortly after that happens. So.
Am I right that you had some overlap with Joe Tripodi too at Northwestern?
No, so Joe was, I think Joe's a 06 grad, I'm a 15 grad, and
He was a grad assistant though, was he an assistant on that?
so I missed Joe when, I think I was on my way to Northwestern when Joe left. So we missed that way, but got a chance to recruit against him a couple times through the years, and he's won, so I give Joe that. But, so, no, it's awesome to have another cat and somebody that's, you know, I know what he represents and what he's about, and so that, again, that was another selling point for me is, you know, a guy like that on staff, coupled with Benny and then Coach Savell, it was a no-brainer.
I assume another selling point is opening at Akron.
Yeah. So yeah, so it'll be fun, yeah, for sure.
You mentioned Calhoun. I mean, how much did the experience of coaching under a guy like Troy Calhoun kind of help you in your career and just development as a coach?
Troy, Coach Calhoun, man, I think is what I say. He's one of the best people I've been around, and the level of care he has for his staff and his players is something that I kind of took to heart. And yeah, I mean, I think it's important to him to look after his people, and so that for me is a lot. I mean, outside of just, I mean, he's a really smart and bright football coach. He leads a great organization. Obviously, you've seen through the years, and so I think the biggest takeaway for me is just how he treats people. And I think that's important in this industry, and I think sometimes it gets lost. So.
Wyoming, since Craig Bowl started here, is notorious for putting in Air Force practices in the spring and then working ahead. I mean, do you feel like you can enhance that with your inside information?
I mean, I'm about as inside as, I guess, not too many people. I mean, they still do a great, we did a pretty good job of being pretty separate during my time at Air Force. I mean, I have some understanding, but I mean, I think, again, to the genius of Coach Calhoun, he does a really good job of making sure that things are tight, you know, so, yeah.
You guys gonna know how to fight off a chop block.
Yeah, well, we're gonna figure it out real soon. Either you're gonna do it in practice with live, nothing's better than live bullets, so the guys will need to just see it, so.
You guys good?
Yep.
Awesome.
Thank you guys.
Thanks.